Hey guys, what's going on? Along with KJ, I'm Tim for The Real Sports Talk. Like The Real Sports Talk on Facebook, and also hit us up on Twitter at CashKelly_TRST. 3:30 Saturday start time for Game 1 of the New York Knicks at the Miami Heat. The defending Eastern Conference champions go against one of the proudest teams in the history of the NBA in the New York Knicks. And the Knicks have had their struggles. It's been a strange season. They went from Mike D'Antoni out the door, a terribly slow start. Then Jeremy Lin really picked it up. Then Jeremy Lin got cold for a while, had some injuries, and ultimately Mike D'Antoni resigned, and I can't think of the new guy who took over, but he has done a nice job. I think it's Mike something. He has done a nice job as the Knicks head coach. With Jeremy Lin and Amari Stoudemire out, Carmelo Anthony really found his way late in this season. I'm not sure necessarily that he's going to be able to do that, A, against a team that plays as good a defense as the Miami Heat, but also B, I don't know if he's going to be able to do that with Amari back in the lineup. That's a problem with these guys that score a ton, is you can always say, oh, well, they don't have great players around them. But the problem is when you put these really good players around them, I mean, they're not able to be as productive because they need the ball in their hands and they need to be shooting. And you're going to live and die by them shooting. And even if you have Amari Stoudemire back in that lineup, if Carmelo Anthony goes out there tomorrow and shoots 7 of 25, their chances of winning this game and overall this series are not very good. If Amari Stoudemire defers and Carmelo Anthony has a great series, then this could certainly be a series that the Knicks are at least in. I don't know if they're going to have a great chance to win, but it's certainly going to be a series that they are in. For the Miami Heat part of this series, that is where things get interesting. You go back to last year's playoffs and all the LeBron and Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh drama that there was. The bottom line is throughout the Eastern Conference playoffs, LeBron James played very well. I mean, you're not going to give him the ball last second and expect a great shot. That is not what LeBron James is, and I think that people who haven't come to that realization are wrong. I still think that he's the best overall player in the NBA right now. And along with Wade, along with Bosh, along with a team that has some younger, nicer players than they did last year, Mario Chalmers has improved. They added Norris Cole. They added Mike Miller, who's had he was there last year, but he's had a better season this year. And I think with some of those additions, the Heat are going to be a more dangerous team in the playoffs. And I think I would expect LeBron James to have a nice series. I don't know, because it's tough to tell with him. Anyone who's in his situation normally, with all the people hating on him and everything like that, would like to go out there and just jam it down the Knicks' throat. But the way that LeBron operates is he's going to play his style no matter what the circumstances are. And if he has a bad game, then he's going to defer to Dwayne Wade. And while people like to discredit that, Kobe Bryant's in a different situation. They like to make that comparison. If Kobe Bryant has a bad game and he defers to, I mean, maybe you can defer to Andrew Bynum, but Kobe Bryant's not going to defer to Ramon Sessions or anyone else who's there because it's just not going to work. If LeBron defers in a bad game to Dwayne Wade, then LeBron is able to go out there and still win, still play effective defense, get rebounds, get assists, and in all likelihood have a triple-double. While he's not going to score as much, that still helps out the team. So it's a completely different circumstance. When people like to make that comparison, it's invalid, and really it's not fair. What LeBron can't do is settle into what he did last year, where he has 1 or 2 bad games at the beginning of the NBA Finals, and then the entire series he comes out like that. The Heat are not going to win the NBA Finals unless LeBron James is the best player on the team. Dwayne Wade is not going to win them the NBA Finals. We saw that last year. LeBron is going to have to step it up in the playoffs this year. And it's put up or shut up. All the fourth quarter jokes, all that, it comes down to this for LeBron James this season.
Yeah, it really does. I don't know if it's but I just want to start this off with saying that I have the Miami Heat in 5. You said that it's possible for the Knicks to be in the series. Yeah, it always is when you have superstars on your team, but this is a Miami team that is just monsters on defense, and that's the New York Knicks team that basically relies on all of their offense to win the game. Guys like J.R. Smith off the bench, guys like Steve Novak hitting the 3, relies on that, and with this defense, you're just going to smother them. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. I don't think that you can really argue for Carmelo and Amari to come out and make this happen against Miami and LeBron. Although if it happened, there would be a lot of people, hating on LeBron about that, and that would be a funny situation. But I'm really used to LeBron just taking over the series. Like you said, he's going to play his game. He's going to do what he does best, and he's not going to switch because people say, "Oh, you can't finish in the fourth quarter." He's going to do what he does best, and that's going to get the job done. And that's simple as that. Like Amari Stoudemire, he's coming into the playoffs hampered. I mean, if you're coming off an injury to begin with, you're not going to play your best ball, and everybody knows that. Everybody who plays sports and knows sports knows that when you come off an injury, you're tentative. You play with a little hesitation, basically, and that's what's going to happen with him. And that's with he's not the best power forward in the game, but Chris Bosh is a better player. He's not like the best, like everyone made it out to be back when they got him, but he's a good power forward, and he's going to hold his own against Amari since he's hampered, and I agree. I think that's what's going to happen. I think this is going to be a good series, but I think Carmelo is not going to be able to get the job done. Although if it is a game shot decision, I do think the Knicks would win a game in this situation, but I don't think it's going to come to that. This defense for Miami Heat is just absolutely ridiculous. They lock down better than any defense I've seen since the Big Three really got together. But since this New York Knicks team relies on scoring, it's going to be really hard for them to win when Carmelo's, basically standing at the half-court line because he doesn't play defense. So I have the Heat in 5, and that's simple as that.
Now, you mentioned the last-second shots. If it comes down to that, I'll take the New York Knicks every time. I've been on record as saying I'm not a huge Carmelo Anthony guy because, like you said, he doesn't play a full game. He comes off as a shot jacker a lot of the time. I mean, defensively, he's not a great overall player. But in the clutch, him or Kobe, that's the guy I want with the ball overall in the NBA right now. And Carmelo Anthony has had just a tremendous overall season in the clutch. Unfortunately, the rest of the game is not what I think a lot of times it's just because he's lazy, and that's my opinion. But Jeremy Lin, I believe, is going to be on the roster and dressed and everything for this series, but Baron Davis will get the start. And if Jeremy Lin is going to be effective in the playoffs, in all likelihood, it will be in a later series, and in all likelihood, that later series will not happen. I'm going to take the Miami Heat in 6 games. I wouldn't be surprised if it went to 7, and I wouldn't be shocked if the Knicks get a lead. But overall, the Heat are just too talented to lose this early in the playoffs. I know we've said that before, and it hasn't worked out, but this Heat team is a much better team than some of the teams that we have said that about. That's the bottom line. Like us on Facebook, hit us up on Twitter, and we will see you guys later.